Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to this month's edition of the Build for Her Forum, where we discuss essential themes and questions on building inclusive women-centric fintech. In this today's forum, we are going to be talking about insurance. Insurance, as we all know, for the Indian masses, insurance is often substituted by credit. If we have to specifically talk about health insurance, and I was just going through some of our some of the latest NFHS data, we see that in the age group of 14 to 49, 15 to 49, less than 30% women have access to health insurance. And 3 out of 4 women say that the health insurance that is available to them does not meet their specific needs. So today we are joined by Kumar Shailabh. Shailabh has been experimenting heavily with designing and delivering health insurance products to women, especially in the last mile and low to middle income communities. We look forward to your insights and your experiences and your journey, Shailabh. So before I pass it on to you, I just want to go over the format. So Shailabh will be talking about his journey and presenting his perspectives for the first 20 minutes, following which we'll open the floor for questions. So please do chip in and chime in. And with that, over to you, Shailabh.
Thank you. Thank you, Trusha. Thank you, IMA, for organizing this. Yeah, ECO, as I call them. Thank you for organizing this. I think Uplift's journey, I'll divide it in 3 parts. Why did we do what we did? What design changes we brought in? And where we are today, what we are doing today. So in these 3 parts, we'll roughly take this. So the picture you're looking at is a picture from Dungarpur in Rajasthan, where we were doing a game called Smart Srimati. This game is specifically played, to talk about risk management, risk sharing, and how women can actually come together to share their risk. So to give you a brief background of who we are and what we do, Uplift Mutuals is a not-for-profit entity registered in 2004, and we are one of the pioneers in what we call as mutual health microinsurance. Why mutual? Because people come together and form their own insurance scheme and run it themselves. There is no insurance company behind. This was necessitated because when we talked to women way back in 2004, there was an event that happened in Uplift where one of our community leaders, she had to go through a surgery. We pooled in the money together, got her to a hospital, but after some time we could not save her. And because the entire community came into a shock, we thought, why not look at insurance? This is 2004, 20 years back. The insurance chap came up with his typical medical product, showed the women what the product looked like. And he said, if you have any questions, why don't you ask? So one of our elderly members, I think a lady of about 59 years old, she got up and she asked in Marathi, what happens to my money when I don't fall ill? I understand all this, when I fall ill, you'll give me this. What happens to my money when I don't fall ill? This chap was very straightforward. He was like, look, women are used to taking loans. So, and you don't have to repay. Similarly, when you don't fall ill, yeah, that money that you have paid becomes my profit. This elderly lady thought for about a minute or so, and then she said, that means I have no interest in being healthy, because when I am healthy, you are making money. And that was the kind of catharsis, I would say, that we all went through. And it was like eye-opening that women understood this very simple thing, which I don't think I understood at that point of time. And we started looking deep into the matter. We said, okay, this is not as simple as a product kharido or daldo. We really need to look into this. And we surveyed over about 900 households at that point of time in Pune slums. And to our surprise, we found out that out of 900 households that we surveyed, about 845 families did not prioritize the financial bit of it. What did they tell us? They told us, you give us the right doctor, the right treatment, and the right cost, we're ready to pay for that. And we were like, we could not understand what is happening. Why is that, financial aid is not a priority and these things are priority. And then we looked at the data that was coming to us. We found out that access to care, even in urban areas like Pune, is extremely difficult. There is no price discovery. The poor always pay the most. And there are these perceptions built about public healthcare that wahan jayenge to mar jayenge. And we found that to be true because private hospitals would kick out patients whom they could not treat, and they had to go to the public hospital when the end was near. So we saw several problems with the design. One is that it was focused on illness. Second, that there was no navigation support, no hand holding, no information. There was a huge gap in aap kahan ja sakte hain treatment ke liye. And third part that we realized was that it is a supply driven market. So hospitals are the ones that actually call the shots. Even insurance companies to some extent cannot manage that, though we have a lot more changes coming in the last 20 years. But at that point of time, that was true. Realizing that there is low trust, there is low transparency. And in 2004, literally there was no tech. Today we have the likes of Digit and other companies really innovating very fast. But at that point of time, we really had no technology whatsoever to build any kind of trust, any kind of efficiency in these processes. So a claim would typically take anywhere between 30 to 45 days to get processed. And the other thing that is still relevant, and we found out that time also, is conflict of interest. The customer wants to benefit because usko claim nahi mila to usko premium doob gaya. This is the mental model. Hospitals feel that, oh, this person has a claim, why not raise the cost? We have seen that hospitals where they are covered with insurance typically have 20 to 25% margin in billing. And obviously insurance companies will say, wrong claims can never be paid. So there is a conflict of interest. Every party on the other side wants to benefit out of it. And we felt that this is something that is hitting the crux of the model. We saw the the claim ratios, which are still not in out of a red. At that point of time, they were really bad, and premiums were increasing year over year. So we found out that these were the typical issues that health insurance design was working. And if we brought the typical commercial product to the women, they would face the same problem, and the insurance premium will become unaffordable over time for them, even maybe in 2 years' time. So this is what we realized when we started this, why we started Uplift Mutuals. And the design that we brought in had 3 basic elements to it. One was that we felt that we need to test out if community can itself bear the risk. That was a quite a challenging task we took on ourselves. But we went through a very detailed process whereby the product, while it was designed by an actuary, my co-founder is an actuary, so we were lucky that way. We had access to actuarial science, and we designed a product like that. But the product, right from premium, kitna hona chahiye, kitna cover hona chahiye, what exclusions come in, all this were validated by women. We sat with women. There also is an interesting story. When the product was first designed, I took this kind of a class on principles of insurance. And one of the first principles of insurability says that the control over the incident by the insured should be least for that event to be insurable. And we had just done that session with women. And then we took the product to them, where we did not have much of an idea as to how really design a product. We copied from what was there in the market, and we had age-based premiums. So different age, different premiums, typically what goes in the market. So we went with the product explained it to the women, okay, this is the premium, this is the cover that we're looking at, and these are the exclusions. So again, the women in the group, they said, Shailabh, just last week you told us that the control over the incident should be least, and that is insurable. Do we really control our age? For you to design this premium age-wise? I did not have an answer at that point of time. We have had similar instances across very different, different product features. And that point of time, we decided, let's keep the premium the same for every age group. It's been 20 years. We have not had adverse effect of age on the premium pricing. We have had the same premium for whether you are 10 days old or 85 years old. We feel that the more the risk is diversified, the better the product becomes over time. So just giving you an insight from what happens when you discuss product with women. So one of our basic features of our process is that we go back with every problem to our customers, to our clients, to our members, the women. This is something that we have been doing on and on for the last 20 years. And a lot of things that have developed within the Uplift model is thanks to this facet that we go back to women. We also discussed as to what is required when it comes to health. And women said, like, look, hospitalization is something that may or may not happen. But we need health on a daily basis. We have children who fall ill. We have women's health issues that need answers. And we are not very confident to, go up to a doctor or to a hospital. And that's where we realize that if we have to make the product tangible to these segment of the population, we really need to work on the health aspect. And we started bringing into a preventive model, which now is a very, I would say, sophisticated today. We have doctors in these slums who conduct outpatient care. We have doctors on 24/7 helpline that not only provide navigation in emergency, kahan jana hai, kis doctor se milna hai, but also medical consultation. We organize health screenings based on the data coming from the claims. Right now, this is monsoon in Pune. So we know the slums that are near the Nala, they will have high cases of gastroenteritis, waterborne diseases. So we start our preventive work likewise. So we brought in a lot of preventive aspect. And thanks to this preventive aspect, one of the reasons why we are still alive after 20 years, because there were about 55 community-based schemes in 2004. There is an ILO report that documents about 55 schemes, and you will see that I think now there are very less left, and especially with the large numbers. One is there down in South, Down Foundation, they are doing extremely well. But one of the reasons that most of the models died down was because they never looked at building a preventive part to it, creating value for their members. Our claim frequency is about, hospitalization claim frequency is about 1% in urban areas and 1.5% in rural areas. Whereas if you see the national figures, they're much higher. And that is because we do many outpatient care clinics. We ensure that we have a gatekeeping mechanism. People come first to us and then go to a hospital. And that has been, and we know that out of 10 health events, 8 can be treated on an OPD basis. So yeah, we did that. We also brought in women in the governance design, because mutual model is owned by its members. So right from product design to process design to even claims decision making, we have women representatives who take a final call on the claims. So typically a claim will be opened, a doctor will underwrite it the way it happens in an insurance company, but the final call is taken by the women's committee. Earlier, it used to take 30 days because we had this women's claims committee meeting once a month and all the claims would be settled. Now it takes 2 hours. We still are not cashless. We still are believe in doing the cash model, because that saves us from a heavy amount of fraud that may happen both from the demand side and supply side. But now we make the payments faster thanks to technology. Uh, we share our data with our members. One of the biggest challenges was that people did not know what was happening to their money. ये जो बोलते हैं ना मेरा पैसे दिया और गए कहाँ पे, it may happen to you also, that you pay your premium and you don't get a claim. So what happened to your money? We felt that, if we share this data with our members, if we make this transparent by design, people will own it better. And there was a huge argument against it also. I was told by some of my at that time policymakers whom I was discussing that this product will completely fall flat on its face because आप बहुत ज़्यादा data दे रहे हैं, कितना पैसा आ रहा है, कहाँ जा रहा है, क्या कर रहे हैं आप उस पैसे का. And I was like, no, let's test it out. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा, बंद हो जाएगा. So it's been now 20 years. We share our data with our members. It happens in a very organized manner. We tell them how much money we have gotten, how much money has got out in claims, what is the money pending in reserves and things like that. And trust me, that has created a level of confidence in the scheme that is unparalleled. Women literally own the product. We have women renewing for about 4 to 5 years without getting a single claim. And when you ask them, why are you doing this? They say, हमें इस बार नहीं मिला, लेकिन हमारे पैसे से किसी और की तो मदद हुई. So they see that, and that's a value, I think, unmatched I have seen in any other insurance product. We hold proper annual general meetings of the women members where the entire data is discussed, right from any product feature that needs to be changed, claims and exclusions and things like that. So the entire design is community driven, women driven. As I said, we are heavily focused on prevention and access. So we have doctors on our payroll who sit in the slums and villages, and then we have that second tier, third tier network of hospitals and clinics that we have built. We have a 24/7 medical helpline that works both as a medical consultation as well as navigation support. Now, to give you a simple example, just a few months back, in one of the slums in Pune, at 1 a.m. in the night, we received a call from one of our members who had a massive medical emergency, and she had forgotten that she had that number. So her brother reminded that there is a sticker in her house. Why don't you call that number? It is written 24/7. She calls on that number. The Uplift doctor picks up the call, and he asks what has happened. He realizes that it's a medical emergency. The nearest hospital is about 2 kilometers away, but it's a private hospital and it will be very expensive for her. And the hospital where she can get a good treatment at a good cost is about 8 kilometers away, and it is 1 a.m. in the night. So we call up another member who we know has a husband who drives an auto rickshaw. We call him up, we ask him, please, lift this lady and take her to this particular hospital. All this happens by 3 a.m. Her operation happens in the morning. Typically, if she had gone to the private hospital, she would have paid anywhere between 80K to 90K. Because we shifted her to a trust hospital, the bill came to about 9,000 rupees. We do this navigation support heavily in this product, and that's why our premiums are low and we can manage within the cost. We feel that the navigation support is the missing link in the entire health insurance design, because I'm sorry to say, but India's medical market looks like a jungle. आपको पता है, आपको कुछ जानते हैं आप किसी को, तो आप एक पर्टिकुलर रेट निगोशिएट कर सकते हैं, and God forbid you ever enter into a corporate hospital unless you have an insurance. So these are like real life learnings I'm sharing with you. Maybe hard to listen, but this is what we do. We save anywhere between 7 to 8 CR rupees of claims just by doing this. This would be added to our claims cost if we were not doing this kind of navigation. That's why we feel investing in the prevention side, investing in the health navigation support is extremely critical for a micro insurance product to run. We now also have added like we took a pharmacy license and we have now added medicines. We provide medicines to our members because now diabetes, blood pressure is a very common feature also in the slums, and they spend anywhere between 3,000 to 6,000 on the medicines. And again, they being poor, not able to access the discount that many of us just get, by flipping our card. So yeah, so that's the component that we have added. One is the governance, which I said earlier. Second is the prevention and access. Uh, we also are one of the few organizations in the country where we focused on technology. We were the first ones to develop a software in the microinsurance space way back in 2004. And we are extremely technical, like we run how exactly an insurance company would price its product, review its product. It's just that we share it with our members. So when we launched our Dungarpur project in Rajasthan, we went web-based. 2017 onwards, we launched our own app, which is used by members. And right now there is a WhatsApp bot that allows easy access for the members. They can file claims via the app. They can access the policy and things like that. It's completely API. It can be integrated through an API thing. So we have done that. 2 years back, we launched the Truck Drivers Mutual. This was a product that we came out during the COVID for the truck drivers. And I'm glad CIPO was one of the few institutions that actually helped us in the tech design part. So yeah, the truck drivers, we have now about 14,000 truck drivers who are enrolled under this scheme. This project is being taken over by JNPT, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, formally from this month, which will be now expanded to thousands of other truck drivers entering JNPT. The app, we have integrated with a safety app whereby the truck drivers download the safety app and the insurance gets called through API. So yeah, that's what we are doing. As I was talking to Trisha the other day, our first version was about building products around the community. So we had a community of women led by women, and we built a health insurance product around it. As far as scale is concerned, and these communities are now self-sustainable, we have given back the communities manage the product themselves. In the version 2, we are trying to build it in retail, trying to build a community around the product. It's extremely challenging and expensive. I think I'll share those results later after some time. But right now we are in that space. Can mutual scale? Yes, but scale is a function of community. So what have we learned in the last, odd years that we have worked, that primary care is extremely critical to micro health insurance. If you're targeting a particular segment of the population that we call the missing middle, I'm not sure without primary care, you can actually make a meaningful product. We have these hospicash products running everywhere. You can see the very large numbers, but in terms of impact, in terms of actual impact on health and lowering down of expenses without primary care, I'm not sure it will work. If you have processes where clients participate, insurance becomes easier to understand and therefore acceptable faster. Our model has primarily been built around where women already were organized, so cooperatives, SHG groups, SHG federations, farmer producer organizations. That's where our product works well. And also, if you have a model like Uplift, we are the first line of defense if there is a public health crisis like the COVID. Because when COVID happened, we were very fast and actually impactful in ensuring that our members, did not panic, they did not have access to outpatient care at that point of time because no OPD doctors was ready to work, and you had to go to a hospital for all the care. And that's where we set up our OPDs in the slums, and actually, I think that point of time in Pune alone, in 6 months, we did about 45,000 OPDs. So we can serve as a first line of defense because people are very well aware क्या करना चाहिए, किसको call करना चाहिए, doctor के पास कैसे जाना चाहिए. We also feel that technology can be a great democratizer because now with the app, the members have access to data on their fingers. They can actually, one feature I didn't tell you, they can actually vote for the governance through the app. That's something that we do. We can complement the commercial and subsidized insurance by the government. I think there is a case for a layered insurance model where the first layer belongs to people. You can have the commercial or subsidized insurance on the top. And it is possible to build a stakeholder model of insurance. We only have the private shareholder model in this country where only private for-profit companies come into insurance, but there is a very strong argument based on what we have done that there can be a cooperative or a mutual model of insurance. Challenges, it's not an easy model because you have to work with the community. It takes anywhere between 3 to 5 years to stabilize. And it is definitely not for those interested in scaling up very fast. I think you really need to work with the community. That takes some time. Prevention and governance both require initial investment, and right now what we have experienced, it can only be done through a donor support. We have not seen any market support coming in for investment in prevention and governance. That's only through donor support that we have seen. With our experience on truck drivers, we had a support of a backstop fund. That's how we could actually, be confident that if something happens, because we are building a community around a product, you could mature, in your product without a backstop fund. And again, if that comes from a donor, maybe we were not able to find an investor per se to see into this, but we now know that if you have a backstop fund, you can take a lot of, you can do a lot more experimentation with the design.
I hate to interrupt, but we are in the gist of time. This has been very interesting, and thanks for actually making bullet points for us to take off on. And I do believe that there are questions in the house that folks want your perspective on specifically. So if I would invite folks in the room to come in with your questions or any additional perspective that you may want to bring in. Yes, so we have a question from Pallavi Madhok with Women's World Banking. Pallavi, would you want me to read it out, or would you be okay with coming in yourself?
Yeah, I can come in. I maybe I missed it, Shailabh, but I wasn't clear on how much premium an average woman is paying and at what frequency, and did I miss the product details? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I did not share the product details because I already had very less time. So see, our product design comes from the fact that we take the product to the women and they have to first say whether they can pay something like that, or there is a capacity to pay check. So we started with 50 rupees per person per year kind of product. Okay, which had a cover of about 5,000 rupees. This was in 2004. Then we moved on to a product which gave about 30,000 cover, which is about 100 rupees per person per month. And now with the latest product that we have, so there are different product variation based on where you are. So in Dungarpur, the product is about 700 rupees per family per year with a cover of 15,000 rupees. Whereas in Mumbai, you have a cover of 1 lakh rupees for a premium of about 3,000 rupees for the family.
Got it. Yeah. Thanks.
Ayushi has a question. Ayushi, please come in.
Thanks so much, Trisha. Shailabh, this was extremely insightful, and thank you so much for doing this presentation for all of us. Quick two questions. One was, you mentioned that the risk is borne by the community. Can you speak a little bit more to that? And the second was, you said that you are not cashless so far. You are still cash based. Is that right? And
Yes.
you said that it saves from many fraud incidents, but generally people often believe the opposite. So, any thoughts there?
I'll take the second question first because see, when we talked about when we went to women and talked about the product design, and they said, look, there are two ways of doing this. You know, we can do the cashless and we can do the cash thing. And as I said, most of our product design is something where we have gone to women. We have copied from the market, done some, you know, क्योंकि हमें आता नहीं था. देखिए, हम honestly बता रहे हैं, हमें कुछ आता नहीं था. 2004 में हमें कुछ नहीं आता था. आज आप मैं जब बोल रहा हूँ तो मैं बहुत एक्सपीरियंस से बात कर रहा हूँ. उससे कुछ नहीं आता था. वी जस्ट कॉपीड कि चलो हाँ कैशलेस करते हैं, क्योंकि उस समय कैशलेस बहुत हाई डिमांड में था. तो व्हेन वी वेंट टू द विमेन इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं, one of the women said that if people don't feel the pinch of paying the payment upfront, they will commit fraud. And that's something that we actually saw when we launched the product in Sholapur in 2007, where the first 3-4 claims, you know, we started getting the claim exactly of the amount the cover was. And then we went back to the hospital saying, what is happening? They said, आपके ही member ने कहा उसको इतना पैसा मिलने वाला है, तो इसका इतना claim बना दो. And when we shared that with the women members, they said, हमें delay होगा, लेकिन we want people to feel that, you know, they have to pay this upfront and then we will fund it. We carried this on for over 10 years till we actually brought in the technology, because then we realized that now 70%, in 2014, we did a, you know, analysis of all our claims. That was about 10 years data. You have to also understand insurance works on data, right? And insurance data, it doesn't, you cannot really rely on a 3 years data, 5 year data. Even 20 years is not enough data for insurance because, you know, things can happen. So when we sat with the women, they said, when we looked at the data in 2014, we realized that now 70% of the claims were going by voice vote. There was no discussion happening on that in the monthly meetings. So we said, why to punish those 70% of the claims for that 30% of the claims where there is a problem, right? And let's do a faster model of that. It took us almost 3 years to come to a position where we are now settling it in 2 hours. But the argument remains the same. We have asked, because see, a lot of design options, we give it as an option to the community. It's not our call, it's their call, it's their money. So wherever we have given the option of, you know, going through a reimbursement model via technology, they have taken that. It happens in 2 hours. And in places like in Dungarpur today, they chose a different model. They said कि हमारे यहाँ कैश ही नहीं होता है, क्योंकि वो ट्राइबल एरिया है. हमको मतलब कहीं से लोन लेके पे करना पड़ेगा, जो भी अमाउंट देनी पड़ती है. तो the federation, which also works in microfinance, they said we will give an interest-free loan immediately. You know, the moment the hospitalization happens, we will give a loan, and when the claim is passed, it will be adjusted against the loan. So it's those kind of experiments we have done. But if you trust what women say, they're extremely against cashless.
Thanks, Shailabh. Savita has a question. Savita, do you want to come in?
Sure, thanks. Hi, Shala. Very interesting product construct. Just wanted to understand how does this sort of fit into the regulation in India? I mean, excuse me if this is already sort of, you know, a very well established model, but just trying to understand how does the IRDAI regulations cover this, or this is because it's a very sort of, you know, structured product, you're not yet covered by IRDAI. Can you just speak a little bit around that, please?
Yeah. This is a question we have been answering for 20 years, and hopefully the new IRDA chairman will do something about it. 4 years back, they came out with a paper on standalone health insurance companies. If you remember, we are part of that paper. So to answer your question, I'll have to go a little back. Before independence, mutual insurance companies were allowed in India before independence. So we actually had, after independence, one mutual insurance company still legally regulation-wise available, that called the Calcutta Civil Hospital, which was running its own mutual. When the Insurance Act of 1938 came, suddenly, you see that this does not find resonance there. But again, when the Insurance Act was at the time of Mr. Sharad Pawar, he brought in a change in saying that mutual and cooperative insurance should be included in that, but it was never notified. And after the 2015 amendment, the word mutual has been removed from the Insurance Act. So we exist in a regulatory vacuum. We can exist legally. So legally, it's possible to what we are doing because, it's like a club, a society that looks after its members. But regulation-wise, we cannot raise reinsurance, like we cannot access reinsurance and capital and things like that. So that's one of the reasons we haven't scaled the way we could. IRDA knows about us. As I said, we are part of the paper that was written. There is a discussion that cooperative insurance will be licensed going forward. When that happens, and legally, legally tenable, there's no legal issues with us.
Got it. Thanks. Thanks.
I think Trisha dropped. I see several hands up. Parna, do you want to come in first?
Sure. First of all, thanks so much for this session. Got to learn a lot. So I have a question around the scale aspect of it. You mentioned that currently it's all, well, philanthropic money supporting you. Now, if you are to break it down in terms of, do you see a scale pathway through government? Like, will the government want to take this solution and take it across India? Do you feel you have a better bet of other NGOs replicating your model and taking it to the rest of India? Or you did mention that market is not very inclined to take it up. And what are the current barriers for, say, market taking it up?
So there is a report link that is there in the slide, which was actually supported by CICO, where we had said that there are various pathways of scaling mutuals. One of the very easy way of doing it is through the large SHG federations that have been built by state governments. So there is this state rural livelihood program under which massive SHG federations have been built. This is a custom-made product designed for those federations. You can really scale this up through those SHG federations, and this can happen in millions. Already, I think in SARP, I don't know whether it is now Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, they are already doing a credit insurance product where they don't talk about it, but if you read their annual report, which is part of this Insuring Bharat report, you will see that they are doing credit insurance in the mutual model, where they are pooling their own risks and doing credit insurance. So it is extremely scalable, provided governments understand that, instead of pushing just the Ayushman Bharat thing, you can have a first level layer of this kind of product. And it is extremely scalable via SHG federations and co-ops.
Got it. And so far you have started having conversation with governments to take it up, like the example that you gave for Andhra Pradesh. That is something they organically came up with, or it was part of your conversations?
No, see, the mutual or cooperative insurance is the most natural way of doing it. We have actually documented many such experiments. They don't call themselves insurance, but you have doctors across India in different states running their own mutual insurance. They're pooling risks and setting up their own. So we were in discussion with the government of Andhra Pradesh when it broke into two parts, and after that we lost that conversation. But we have had a similar conversation with donors who have been supporting very large state level thing. But the question always comes in Ayushman Bharat ke samne ye kyun kar rahe hain? I think it gets lost in that conversation where you are seeing 500 crores people, enrolled in a scheme like that. You really don't want to invest in something that is so bottoms up. So I think that has been a major issue of not being able to bring this through the government.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you.
Thanks, Shailabh. I momentarily dropped off. There's a quick question from Devyani. She wants to know, what is the split of your claims between OP and IP?
So we have very large number of OP claims, but there are so minuscule that it really doesn't matter. 1% is the hospitalization and 45% is the OP.
Our friend from Aspire had a question, I believe.
Yeah, I had a question, but it got partly answered, but I would still ask it. Firstly, Shailabh, thank you so much. I didn't even know such a product existed, and it's helping so many women. So really thank you for coming up with this product. I had one question, since you said that your distribution channels is generally SHGs. I mean, you cater to women in already formed groups, right? Any plan? Firstly, what geographies do you work in? And secondly, about expansion, do you plan to expand beyond SHGs, or this is going to be your model?
We don't want to become the Amazon of mutuals. Okay, we want many other uplifts to come up. We are happy to share what we have learned. We're happy to share the technology. We are right now in Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. And if there is any interest in setting up this elsewhere, we are happy to do that. I personally don't see Uplift, scaling up to entire India. As I said, we don't want, because our beauty is the localized nature of risk management, localized nature of risk sharing. And if there are organizations in different parts of the country that want to handle this, because even though health is more or less the same, the cultural aspect makes a huge difference. The way the model behaves in Rajasthan is very different from the way it behaves in Latur. So yeah, locally, we are more than happy where we are, and we are happy to share. We are happy to say, okay, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. हमारे पास क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, इसका ज़्यादा ज्ञान है.
Understand. And in the areas where you are anyway functional, do you are you interested in scaling there, or not even there? I mean, you're happy with what you have currently.
No, we are happy to scale. See, we are constantly trying to tell anybody, policy holders, donors, market, that hey, we have a decent product, but it requires certain standing in, I would say. And nobody seems to be interested in standing in for that time. Everybody is like, तुम 10 लाख कैसे पहुंच सकते हो एक साल में? नहीं पहुंच सकते, आप नहीं कर सकते. And everybody is okay with the country not having that kind of penetration. They are happy with Ayushman Bharat. We are all happy with Ayushman Bharat. So be it so.
Okay. Thanks.
So Shailabh, there are a couple of questions in chat, and one of which I believe has been answered in the course of the conversation. So the question was so Amina wanted to understand what you meant by scale as a function of the community, which I believe has been answered in some regard. And the last question is from Jyotsna, who wants to know what has been the claim experience in the last 20 years that you've
below 60% for the last 20 years. We are one of the most profitable, quote unquote, products in the market.
Okay, thanks. Great to hear this. I'm Jyotsna from Women's World Banking. And actually, I have been following your product since last 10 years, I'll say, because I was working in HDFC Ergo earlier. From there, I got to know that there is a company called Uplift Mutuals. And it is possible that I have met someone from your organization before as well. That is why I was very interested in what has been the operational aspect of this product, since it is working for the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, we are extremely doable, functionable, even in COVID. COVID was, as I said, one in a century event where we actually had हमें actually donors से पैसा उठाना पड़ा for providing services. That was the only year and two, I would say, where we took a hit with our renewals because people just didn't have cash to pay. That was the only black years. Otherwise, in one of the communities that we work in Pune called Annapurna, they lost all their reserves. But I just got a report yesterday that they have recouped.
So what is the premium and the sum insured right now in the current years, like last year, this year? Has it been same for all the states?
I believe
It has been answered. Okay.
and also I believe you've lost Shailabh. Shailabh, are you around?
All their
Okay.
losses.
Shailabh, I think we lost you for the last 20 seconds or 10 seconds or so. Okay, so I believe there are some technical issues there. So we will wait for Shailabh to come back. But in the meantime, I want to thank you everyone for joining this edition of the Build for a Forum. I'm very, very thankful and want to leave with a couple of messages. The Build for a Forum, as many of you know, is part of our larger work on catalyzing and supporting women-centric fintech in India. If you do want to reach out to us, understand more about our work, think about explore ways how we might be able to collaborate and work together, please do reach out to us. And if any of you in the house are working on similar areas, are interested in getting the room's perspective, and would like to headline one of our upcoming Build for Her sessions, please do reach out to us as well. Shailabh is back. So yeah, Shailabh, we lost you for a while.
Sorry.
Please, your concluding thoughts.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I forgot. I did not get the question I was being asked.
My question was, what is the premium and the sum insured currently?
So again,
I
as
guess
I
you
said,
answered it
Jyotsna,
earlier, but I also missed it. You
Yeah,
had
yeah,
said
yeah.
you started with rupees 50, but I missed on the last part, I guess.
Yeah, so in the tribal areas, we still have a premium of about 700 rupees per family for a
And the
cover of
sum insured?
15,000. And in
15,000.
Mumbai, we have a premium. And in Mumbai, we have a premium of about 3,000 and a cover of 1 lakh.
Okay.
All right, Shailabh, any concluding thoughts? This has been an excellent session. I think everyone would agree, and full of jam-packed with insights. So yeah.
I think, there is a lot that can be done when it comes to health insurance. I seriously feel that Ayushman Bharat is a great scheme, but if you really want to create a sustainable model over time, you need a first layer of people's health insurance. Then Ayushman Bharat or any commercial product can come in. Right now, I've been asked to design a product for TB patients, and I have said the same thing that the preventive part should be with the community, and the risk should be divided between the community and an insurance company or the government. So I think there is a very strong case between a two-layer model of health insurance. And I think the only subsidized model of insurance is not going to sustain itself in the long term. We will have to charge it something to the community, and it's better that communities have a model in place. Yeah, so I think as long as people are aware that there is a solution available that people can manage, I think there is hope.
And it'll take a lot of collaboration and conversations of this kind to probably get to a place where we'd reach the
And
desirable
I
levels.
should say that CICO was one of the first institutions to support us when we wanted to really, bring in the tech part into the insurance bit. I think Sanjay and Priyanka and Supriya and Sandeep, I'm not sure if Sandeep is there, but these guys have really put in a lot of efforts in understanding what we do and supported us. So thank you for that.
So we are now IMA Ventures, by the way. So
Okay.
but this has been a pleasure, and hopefully we can continue having our conversations, and hopefully you'll join us for the next rounds of Build for a Forum. Great, thank you everyone, and dispersing for the day.